desert, sweeping centuries of sand over a lifeless landscape that once echoed with the voices of kings who claimed to be gods. Beneath that sand lies a story, 5,000 years long, of glory, power, betrayal, and mystery. This is not just the tale of a civilization. This is the legacy of the Firaon, the pharaohs of Egypt, men and women who reigned as living deities, shaping the destiny of the ancient world. But what if I told you that the story we think we know is only a fragment of the truth? The word pharaoh comes from the ancient Egyptian per-aa, meaning great house. Originally, it referred to the royal palace. Over time, it became synonymous with the king himself. Yet these rulers were more than kings, they were gods on earth, intermediaries between the people and the divine, responsible not just for politics, but for maintaining the cosmic order known as Ma'at. Travel back to around 3100 BCE. Egypt is not yet a unified kingdom. It is divided, Upper Egypt in the south, Lower Egypt in the north. Two lands, two crowns, two destinies. But a single figure would rise to merge them. His name, Narmer, or as some call him, Menes. The first pharaoh. He wasn't just a unifier. He was a revolutionary. On the famous Narmer palette, he is shown wearing both the white crown of Upper Egypt and the red crown of Lower Egypt, symbols of unity. Blood and power merged into one throne. From this point, Egypt surged forward. The Old Kingdom, often called the Age of the Pyramids, witnessed colossal ambitions carved into stone. Pharaoh Djoser built the very first pyramid, step-like and bold, under the guidance of his visionary architect Imhotep. Not just a builder, Imhotep was later deified, worshipped by Greeks and Romans alike. A mortal turned god, in a land where even gods served kings. Then came Sneferu, the pharaoh who couldn't settle for perfection. He ordered pyramid after pyramid, adjusting angles, refining proportions, until finally, the majestic Red Pyramid stood. His son, however, would immortalize the dynasty. Khufu, known to the Greeks as Cheops, commissioned the Great Pyramid of Giza. Over 2 million limestone blocks, each weighing several tons, arranged with a precision that baffles modern engineers. It is said no blade can pass between the stones. Even today, no one knows for sure how it was built. But with every rise comes decline. As the Old Kingdom collapsed, famine, drought, and civil war tore Egypt apart. Local governors, nomarchs, rose in power. For a time, the divine pharaohs faded into obscurity, and then, they returned. The Middle Kingdom emerged. Pharaohs like Senusret III tightened control, enforced loyalty, and expanded Egypt's borders. This was the golden age of literature, art, and law. But again, nothing lasts forever. A mysterious foreign power, the Hyksos, invaded from the east, seizing Lower Egypt. For over a century, Egypt was ruled by outsiders. It seemed the gods had turned their backs. But destiny had other plans. A young prince from Thebes, Ahmose I, rallied the Egyptian people. He waged a war of liberation, pushing the Hyksos out and reclaiming Egypt's soul. Thus began the New Kingdom, Egypt's most glorious chapter. Here, the Pharaon became truly imperial. Thutmose III led campaigns across the Levant, making Egypt a superpower. His stepmother, Hatshepsut, broke every norm. She ruled not as queen, but as pharaoh. She wore the royal beard, took on male titles, and built grand temples to secure her place in history. She claimed divine birth, declaring that Amun, king of the gods, had fathered her. A political move. Or something more. Then came Akhenaten, the heretic. He did the unthinkable, abolished Egypt's traditional gods and worshipped only Aten, the sun disk. In a society where religion governed everything, he shattered centuries of belief. Art changed. Statues showed him with a misshapen body, elongated skull, and tender moments with his queen, Nefertiti. Some believe he had a disease. Others think it was symbolic. Either way, his reign was radical. When he died, the temples of Aten were smashed. The old gods returned. And from the ashes, a boy king rose to the throne, Tutankhamun. Tutankhamun is a name known worldwide, but not for what he did in life. His reign was short and largely unremarkable. Yet in death, he achieved immortality. When Howard Carter uncovered his untouched tomb in 1922, The world was stunned. Gold, jewels, and mystery, all sealed away for 3,000 years. But whispers followed, a curse, striking down those who entered. Carter's sponsor, Lord Carnarvon, died mysteriously weeks later. Coincidence? Or vengeance from beyond the grave? Power would peak under Ramses II, Ramses the Great. He ruled for over 60 years, fought the epic Battle of Kadesh, and carved his image across temples from Nubia to the Delta. He may have been the pharaoh mentioned in the story of Moses. Though scholars debate it endlessly, his mummy, astonishingly preserved, now lies in the Cairo Museum. His face, regal and still, stares back across millennia. But even Ramses could not stop time. The new kingdom faltered. Priests grew powerful. Foreign powers encroached. Slowly, Egypt's light began to dim. The later dynasties saw foreign rulers, Libyans, Nubians, Assyrians, Persians. Yet each adopted the title of pharaoh, donning the crown and praying to the gods of the Nile. Even Alexander the Great, when he conquered Egypt, bowed to its traditions. He was declared a son of Amun. The Greeks ruled as pharaohs under the Ptolemaic dynasty. Cleopatra VII, last of the line, spoke Egyptian, worshipped Isis, and ruled with fierce intelligence. And then came Rome. After Cleopatra's tragic death in 30 BC, Egypt was annexed. The age of the pharaohs was over. No longer divine kings, no longer living gods, just history. But history remembers. To this day, we uncover secrets buried beneath the sands. Tombs sealed for millennia, scrolls of forgotten wisdom, curses whispered in ancient tongues. The pharaohs may be gone, but their legacy endures, in stone, in story, in the very breath of the Nile. 5,000 years of rule. Of ambition. Of myth. From Narmer to Cleopatra, from pyramid to obelisk, from divinity to downfall, the Pharaoh of Egypt were more than kings. They were the architects of eternity, and perhaps, somewhere in the silent halls of a hidden tomb, one still waits. Watching? Because in Egypt, nothing truly dies. It only waits.